Hey everybody, Zee Garcia here, and today I'm taking a look at a small card game for 1 or 2 players. This is called Assembly. In this game, the player or players are stuck on an orbital space station and a virus descends upon the station. It wipes out most of the crew members and the computer goes haywire and starts venting all of the oxygen out into space. And so the players have to, again, either alone or 2 players together, they must lock down the different modules into their corresponding spots in order to stop the space station from venting all of that air and killing them. All of that to say the game is a pseudo-abstract game in which you're going to be playing cards to bring in new tokens onto the board, rotate them around the board, and put them in their corresponding spots. Let's go ahead and take a look at how this all works together. We'll come on back after that. I'll tell you what I think of it. So here's what the game looks like set up, in this case for 1 player. And the objective is to get all of these modules here locked onto their corresponding blueprints before we run out of time, which is when we go through this very small deck 3 times. And so, to begin, I'm going to give myself a character power, which I've already gone ahead and done here. So I've got this one, though there are quite a few others that you will use, 1 per player, again 1 or 2 players. And I have set aside these 2 cards from the deck. I've shuffled the deck and randomized all of these blueprints into their locations. Also, the spots for 12, 3, 6, and 9, you choose which set you like to play with. So I'm playing with set A right here. But on the back of these, you can choose these if you want to play with no power whatsoever. And you also have a couple of other sets you can play with, which are going to give you different abilities or penalties, as you see here. And so I'm going to draw 3 cards, and I will begin. On my turn, I am going to play one of these cards. I am going to do the action listed on that card. Then I am going to draw back up. And at certain points in the game, I'll have to cycle the deck, reshuffle, which is going to bring about 1 little bonus and a major penalty. So let's go ahead and take a look at how this goes. So right here I've got 2 of the several kinds of cards. I've got this one, which is going to either let me deploy a new module to a random location, or it lets me lock 2 of them if they're already sitting in the right blueprint, and then this one that lets me swap 2 different ones. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll roll the die to select a location, in this case 6 down here, and I take a random one of these and I put it in that location. Then I draw back up and I take another turn. I will do it again. I'm going to deploy another one. In this case, it goes into 10. Place it right there. And then I draw back up and that's it. So again, the different options now I could do if I wanted to swap these 2. I would swap that one for this one. That's not really particularly beneficial right now, but it might be, so I'll go ahead and do that. Then I drew here one of the other kinds of cards. This is a rotate. In this case, this one lets me go in either direction, and I can rotate all of the free tokens 1 or 2 spaces. I am going to have to draw now, and there is no card for me to draw. I have to reshuffle this. So I will first add this card, one of these movement cards, into the deck. That's going to help me. At the second time I have to do this, by the way, I will add this card into the deck, which is a wild, very powerful, great stuff. But even though I'm getting all of these cards back, there's now a major malfunction. And I have to reshuffle all of these that are not locked already. So I'll just move the token off of them momentarily, and then I'd have to pick them up and reshuffle where they end up, which is, of course, as you can assume, going to create some problems for me. Not ideal. And that's largely it. You continue attempting to do that. I should have started over here at the 12, by the way, but, well, we'll not worry about it for right now. All right, there we go. And so this one goes back on here. Of course, it's possible that this random shuffle might actually help you, as it did right there. And then I draw my card. I might, now go ahead and lock this one, which flips this over, removes a token, and so on. So you have to just bring all of these in, take them to where they go, and then lock them into place, dealing with these different powers as they come up. If you lock the one that's sitting on there, you're going to have to contend with that power. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the two-player version of this. For this version, each player is going to have one of these player powers, and we are going to add these 4 cards that were normally removed for the solitaire mode into the deck and shuffle that up. And then everybody's going to draw a hand of 3 cards that they would normally keep hidden, but I'll go ahead and show you the second player's hand here just to explain a couple of things. So objective is the same, but now you are dealing with the concept of verifying each other's commands. And so, on your turn, the first thing you get to do is ask a question of the other player as to whether they can verify something or not, and they must answer very simply yes or no. So what does this mean? Well, let's say I have in my hand this, and I want to do a swap action between 2 of these tokens. So I might ask my partner here if they can verify a switch, and they say yes. So I'll go ahead and play that. I play the switch, I switch 2 tokens out here, and then they, knowing that they can verify this because they have a matching card in their hand, do nothing else. Switching that up, let's say I say instead, can you verify a purple card here, clockwise rotation? And they say no. Well, now if I still go ahead and play that, they are going to have to discard a card from their hand to, again, verify this power because they don't have that kind of card in their hand. Or, knowing that they cannot verify it, I might take a gamble on one of the other ones. I might do that and bring in a new one, and they can verify that, so they're going to go ahead and save their cards. They don't have to discard one if they've got a matching, action in their hand that allows them to verify what I just did. And so that's how you play the game. You now understand how to play Assembly, but before I let you go, let me go ahead and tell you about this little expansion called Glitches for the game. It's a very simple concept, so I'll just bundle into the same conversation here. In this little pack, you are going to get the aforementioned Glitches cards. You are going to get a few new characters with their powers, and these powers are all one-time use, just like all the other ones. You'll have text on one side and symbology on the other side, but both sides are the same thing. And then you are also going to get a few more sets of these special powers for the placeholders at 3, 6, 9, and 12. So more actions that you have to contend with. But again, Glitches, which is the main objective here of the expansion, you're going to shuffle these up and you are going to place one of them face down with the first card that will be added to the deck after it cycles and the second card that will be added to the deck after it cycles. And when that happens, when this is all shuffled up, you are going to add not just this new card, but also this glitch. And shuffle that up, and whenever it comes up, you're going to have to deal with what that card says. They will, of course, be things that hinder you. So, for example, Lockjam here says that you place this card face up in front of you, and the next time you execute the lock command, you must choose to either lock exactly 3 bays. That could be good if you're ready for that. Or lock 1 or 2 bays and then unlock 1 bay of your choice. And that's, of course, bad. So if you've got this in front of you, you need to get to the point where you can lock 3 all at once and therefore not have to deal with that penalty. We've got another one here, Restore Backup. This one says, this is not a put it in front of you because it happens right away, and it says you must choose to either unlock a random bay or immediately draw and resolve the first option on a new glitch card. There you go. And so you would, draw another glitch card and do whatever that one says. Okay? So, very simple, small little twist to the original and base game here. But that's pretty much everything you are going to find, excluding, of course, specific details on the written powers and so forth. Let's go back up top. Let me tell you what I think of this game. So there you go, that is Assembly. I am normally a fan of this kind of small solitaire game. One that's a little bit puzzly, they're quick, there's not a lot of moving parts, but it's going to give you some interesting moments and choices, a little bit of tension in a short time frame. This one is no exception. So let me go ahead and break it down, tell you what I liked about the different aspects in the game, all right? So my least favorite thing is probably the theme. Actually, the theme is pretty straightforward. It's interesting enough. It does not detract from the experience. It does not get in the way, but you will likely forget about it very quickly as you start playing the game. It's a nice setup, it works all right. The quality of the components is very good. Card quality is great. The graphic design is clean and straightforward. I like the look of this game a lot. I like the wooden tokens. Those all function exactly as you would expect them to, so I got no issues there whatsoever. The replayability, especially with that expansion, I think is actually very good. This is a fantastic way to spend, 10, 15 minutes. You're going to want to play it again just to give that little puzzle another go. It's not just a brain-burning exercise. There is certainly some luck, and I'll talk about that a little bit later on, which I think is a little bit of a misnomer. On the back of the box, they mentioned something along the lines of, let me see. Fast and eminently replayable brain-burning puzzler. I don't know if it's a brain-burning puzzler, but it's going to give you a few puzzly moments. I like that. And I do find it to be replayable. Game length, as I said, it's short, it's punchy, it's going to have a few puzzles sprinkled throughout. It works. Great game length here. If it was too much longer, perhaps I would have a problem with how simple the game is, but I think it's just the right amount of time to burn through 10, 15 minutes doing this fun little activity. As far as the ease of play, very easy to play. It's straightforward. I think that's great. This is the kind of game that's going to go over well with just about anybody. And then you've also got the ability to adjust that difficulty. You can throw in the special powers on the outside. You can play with just the blank ones if you're just learning the game or want to play with someone who, is not accustomed to these kinds of games. That's another layer you can remove, basically, or add it back in. Again, if you've got the glitch expansion, you can add that in. It's going to give you just another little seasoning on top, and I like it. And then lastly, tactics and strategy and luck. Yes, there's some luck in this, especially, drawing cards, what you get, but bringing in the modules as well. It's quite possible you'll bring something in and it lands right where it needs to go. Great, that's a big break. But the game's 10 minutes, and there are moments of thought throughout. Especially with two players where you have to deal with this idea of, checking each other and conserving cards. You definitely need to conserve your cards. That's going to give you some layers. So the luck, I think, works. I don't have a problem with the luck in this game. It's there. It's not a brain-burning puzzler, as the box says, in my opinion. But it's still engaging, and you're still going to have lots of fun tactical moments in which you respond to what's going on. So overall, you know what? I really liked Assembly. I thought it was it's not a looker. The box, is not going to jump off the shelf. In fact, I worry that the box is extremely plain and won't help this game sell whatsoever. But what's in it is a neat, small card game. I do enjoy it, and I can definitely see myself, pulling this out, giving it a quick go if I've got 15 minutes of downtime between something and something else. If I'm waiting for some gamers to show up and I'm ready to start and they're not quite there, 10, 15 minutes, I can knock a solitaire play of this out. I like them both as solitaire and two players, so that's great. But definitely I think I'm going to get a lot of plays of this in as a solo activity. In fact, I already have. And I definitely am still on a high from it. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. So, Assembly's going to get a strong seal of approval from me. I definitely recommend, if you are like me and you like this kind of solitaire experience, very simple, small, time filler kind of management activity, then Assembly is going to be for you as well. Again, seal of approval from me. That's Assembly. I'm Zee Garcia. I'll see you on the next one.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at dicetower.com.